Welcome into another episode of Action Talk. I'm your host, Thomas Shafer, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mark Saavedra. And playoffs are underway, and we're in the divisional round. How you feeling, Mark?
Feeling good, man. Looks like my Super Bowl pick's still alive. Lions been moving in their favor, and we'll get to that game. Don't worry, we'll talk about the Ravens. But before we dive into the games, make sure you guys are following us on Instagram and Twitter at Action Talk Bets, and make sure to like and subscribe below because we're giving winners. And like I say every week, man, just avoid the bad beats. Lines move. I love getting the lines early, and they can make a final decision on Sunday. And hopefully your bets land in between where you can successfully land on both. But let's move on to our first game. We got the Rams going to the Packers. Packers enjoying that bye week, and now they are 7-point favorites at home. How are you feeling about this one, Thomas?
I got this at 6.5 a couple hours ago on my bookie. I don't know why it was at 6.5 still, but I grabbed it at that, and that's what I'm going with. I would still take them at 7 because I think the Packers are going to outright win and cover this game. But, like you said, if you grab these lines earlier, you can take advantage of them.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers have covered in 6 straight meetings against the Rams, and Aaron Rodgers is 5-0 against the spread against them in his career. They did lose a couple years ago, 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And the Packers were 7.5-point dogs, ended up losing by 2, so they covered. So Packers do very well against the Rams when it comes to against the spread. Jared Goff looked okay. He's nothing special, and he's still recovering from that thumb injury. So I don't know if I can trust him in Lambeau. Man, that offense is good. I don't know how good they're going to be in Lambeau. That home field advantage is real, even with no fans. So I'm laying the 7, and the Packers here are my favorite teaser play of the day. Love Packers tease down 6 points, 7 points, 10, 13, whatever you want to do with them.
Yeah, so I agree with you, like you said, with the Packers and Jared Goff, especially with that thumb injury going into Lambeau. It's going to be cold, I'm guessing. I haven't looked at the weather yet, but, we're in January, so it's going to be cold in Lambeau. And you know how injuries are always harder to play through depending on the weather. It's going to be harder to loosen that up. And he wasn't even throwing the ball really good against the Seahawks. Russell Wilson in the offense was just so flat against the great defense that the Rams have. And Jared Goff's touchdown pass, I mean, me and you could have threw that. Robert Woods was wide open. Anybody could have made that throw. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about the Packers being able to handle their offense, the Rams offense. And I kind of like the under in this game. I think that, the Rams defense will be able to keep Aaron Rodgers not in check, but down to the mid-20s. I know that's still a lot of points, but I don't think that they're just going to blow out the Rams and it's going to be like a 45-15 game or something like that. I think that they'll keep them in check because the Rams do have a really good defense, as long as Aaron Donald isn't too banged up from last week.
Yeah, they have a great pass rush. Thing to watch there, like you said, is Donald and how healthy he's going to be this week. They have excellent coverage, but I don't know if Jalen Ramsey is going to do to Devontae Adams what we've seen him do to DK Metcalf. Devontae Adams is probably the best receiver right now in the NFL, so I think he's going to win that matchup. Devontae's probably going to get around 70 yards, I'd say. He's not going to get his 100-plus 2-3 touchdown game, but Devontae's going to get his. And I do like the under. I don't like that it's moving. I did get it at 46.5, so I did like it there. Definitely like teasing that too. I'm definitely going to tease the Packers spread and the under in this one together. Definitely love that. And coming off a bye week, Packers before the bye week were on a 6-game winning streak where they're scoring over 30 points a game. I mean, just can't bet against Aaron Rodgers, especially not in Lambeau. So we're on the same page there, rolling with the Packers. And sorry.
You said it. You think that he's going to be held at like 70 yards or under? I think that's pretty good for the under. If you're holding Devontae Adams to 70 yards, then you're doing something right because I think any defense would take that, giving him 70 yards outside of the other receivers that are kind of suspect in Green Bay.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're definitely going to take that, considering that Jalen Ramsey is going to be on him the majority of the snaps. But yeah, that's enough of that. We're all the Packers. Like I said, love teasing them and the under. I already teased the shit out of that. I think this is a great weekend, honestly, for teasers. And before that Ravens line moved, I loved it. But let's get into that game. We got the Ravens going to Buffalo. Those are 2-point favorites here. I love the Ravens at +3. That was my second, I guess. I don't know how all these are great teaser plays, but I was loving the Ravens at +3, teasing that. So let's dive right into this, Thomas. How you feeling? We got 2 young quarterbacks going at it in the AFC.
I've been saying the whole year that I love Josh Allen, and I know you're kind of starting to move on to thinking that he's a good quarterback. I know you struggled to wrap your head around that earlier in the season, but I don't think I know the Ravens are on this great win streak and they've looked hot, but I think the Tennessee Titans really screwed that game up. I think they should have won that game. Punting on 4th and 2 with an opportunity to win the game and take the lead. I think Mike Vrabel screwed that up tremendously. They didn't rely on Derrick Henry enough on that last drive, or the second to last drive, in my opinion. I know he struggled for most of the game, but that guy was an MVP candidate the entire season, and they just went away from him way too early when they had the game on the line with the chance to win that game outright. And, I think the Ravens kind of like escaped just based off of Mike Vrabel's ineptitude as a coach. And I really like the Bills. Their defense isn't as great as, I would like them to be, like they were last year, but Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs are probably outside of Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, the best 1-2 combination in the passing game this entire NFL season. So I have to go with the guy that can actually throw the football down the field. Lamar Jackson had an amazing run in the first half of that Titans game, but he really couldn't throw the ball at all. He was checking it down a lot in the end of the game to his fullback, picking up 10 yards at a time. And I don't think that he's going to be able to keep up with this animal that we've seen from Josh Allen. He's amazing. He's Tim Tebow and Brett Favre combined. We've never seen anybody like this guy, in my opinion.
I don't know. I'm seeing some things develop between Lamar and Marquise Brown that I really love, and it's what they really, really desperately need in this offense. So I'm rolling with Lamar in that +115, taking the money line here. Like I said, that's my pick to win the Super Bowl. I'm rolling with them, and I just jumped on the Buffalo train, but I can't go against Lamar right now on this team. And like you said, the defense isn't good enough in Buffalo, where they struggles in their rush defense. They give up the 7th most rushing yards in the NFL this season, the most of any of the teams left in the playoffs. So such a run-dominant team in the Ravens going up against that. It's a good matchup for them. It's pretty much, I guess, their dream matchup other than the Chiefs, I guess. Those two defenses are who they want to see given their style of play. And Josh Allen last season had a 46% completion percentage and had 3.7 yards per attempt last year when he played the Ravens. So those are some creative.
That's last year, bro. That's last year. You see the jump in completion percentage this year. That has nothing to do with this year.
I'm just saying, last time you saw them, they kept him in check. It was probably the worst game of his career. And I know he's had, he's made a huge jump this season. But the Ravens have a really good defense. So I know Josh Allen can go down the field. I don't know if he'll be able to do it against this team.
I have nothing else to rebuttal. I shot it all out on that.
I'm not even gonna talk about anything.
I thought you were gonna transition, but if you want to keep going at it.
I thought maybe you wanted to go out a little bit longer, but that's fine, man. Like I said, this is my pick to win the Super Bowl, so I got to roll with them. I should hedge a little bit since I have so much money on them to win the AFC and to win the Super Bowl, but I don't like what I saw out of the Bills playing the Colts last week. The Colts are a team that struggled with the good teams, and the fact that they were able to hang around that long concerns me for the Bills. So,
well, the reason that they were able to hang around so long was because Phillip Rivers actually played a decent game. He was able to throw the ball from the pocket and get the balls to playmakers. I don't think Lamar Jackson is going to be able to do that. like I said last week, I think he beats up on the bad defenses and then the bad teams like the Bengals and all these BS teams that he had his nice run against. I don't see it in the hostile. I know it's only going to be roughly 7,000 fans in Buffalo, but hey, they're going to bring it. I know Bills Mafia is going to be out there, and I just cannot bet against Josh Allen this season. This is a good game, and I think this game's going to be close, but I think they're going to cover. And we could both move on from this game because this is the game where we disagree on. We can move over to the Sunday AFC game that we got going on. The Browns surprisingly beating the Pittsburgh Steelers last week, going on the road to Kansas City. Kansas City's a 10-point favorite. Who do you like here?
So, given Kareem Hunt saying there's a revenge game for him, or I don't know what he said, there's like he said some nonsense like that since he's going back to face the Chiefs. Given that and how immature they've been about this past victory, gotta go with the Chiefs minus 10, laying the points here. And Chiefs haven't covered in a while. It's been a long time since they played the Jets in Week 8. So, I gotta roll with Chiefs here. And I hate the Browns right now, so obviously can't bet on them, And I like the under here. I think 56 is a little too high. So taking the Chiefs and the under in this one. What about you, Thomas?
That's surprising. I thought you would take the big number in the Browns with the points with the Browns, and that's the way I'm going to go. I'm going to take the points. I think they're definitely worth teasing also up to like 16 or 17, whatever number you get them at. I think that this number might actually move up to like 10.5 possibly if you can wait that out and get them at 10.5 because I think the public is going to love the Chiefs just because of Patrick Mahomes. But I think that they're going to be able to keep this close. The Cleveland Browns, I'd actually prefer if Stefanski wasn't anywhere near this team and let Mike Prefer, he's the coach that actually won the game on Sunday. So I really like the Browns. I know you're not that big of a Baker Mayfield guy, and I don't think he's as good as I thought he was going to be in the NFL. But I think with these running backs that the Browns have, with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, that they're going to be able to keep this or try to at least keep this low scoring by running the ball and keeping Patrick Mahomes as much off the field as they can. I think 10 points is just too much. I like the Chiefs to win this game outright, but I'm not willing to lay 10 points with them. And like you said, they haven't covered in so freaking long. I can't trust them. They've burned me way too much the last 3 or 4 weeks whenever we've been betting on them.
Well, let me correct myself, by the way. They're 1-7 since week 9 against the spread, but I don't know, man. Usually things like this mean that the teams do. Coming off the bye, I really trust them. I think that if the Browns want to win this game, they're going to have to rely on their running backs and they're going to run the ball. So I think, if they're doing that and let's say ideal world, Browns start the football, they don't score on the first drive, Chiefs score, Browns still commit to the run, and Chiefs get ahead early 2 scores, man, I don't know. I think Chiefs can just blow them out and just cruise to victory. So I'm rolling the Chiefs minus 10. I'm kind of trading lightly, though. I'm not going to lie. This is kind of like my stay-away game of the 4 games. This is definitely one I'm not betting too much on. If I had to roll with a pick ATS or minus 110 value, probably going with the under here because I think it's too high.
Yeah, like you said, obviously the Chiefs have the capability of blowing any team out in the NFL. I don't care who it is. They have so much firepower, but I wasn't really too impressed with the Chiefs. I know against the spread, would you say 1-6 against the spread? But no, Patrick Mahomes didn't really look like Patrick Mahomes those last 7 weeks. I mean, yeah, he had a couple 300, 400-yard games, but like that pedestal that we put Patrick Mahomes on after that Super Bowl in the first 2 seasons of starting in the NFL, that he didn't really look like himself. And I'm kind of disappointed that it is the Browns playing them this week. Because I said earlier to you a couple weeks ago that, I think the Chiefs could slip up in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win this game, the Browns, outright, but I think they'll cover. And you're right. I think that this is one of the games that I'm treading lightly on just because it's weird, just because of that ability that Patrick Mahomes could blow this team out. But if I'm giving a pick, I got to take the 10 points because I have not trust the Kansas City Chiefs in the last, like you said, 7 weeks.
Yeah, I get you, man. I think this is just one that Vegas got the line. It's a good line. It's a tricky one. So I think Chiefs win right around there. I think they win by more than a touchdown personally. So 10's weird. It's one of those football numbers that you can easily push, but you never know if there's a missed field goal here, a 2-point there, whatever can happen. That's a bad beat either way. So definitely tread in lightly. Going to tease the Chiefs down to 4 and/or 3. And moving on to the battle of the GOATs, or the old men, or whatever you want to call it. We got the Bucks going to New Orleans to face the Saints, who are favored by 3 points here. Total set at 52. How are you feeling about this one, Thomas?
I love Tom Brady. I can't help it. I hate the Saints. So maybe you shouldn't listen to me here just because I'm a little biased when it comes to this. I picked the Bucks to win the first 2 games out of this rivalry this season, and I got burned on both of them. But they have to win the 3rd game, right? They just have to. Just double down that money, right? Just double down. I'm going with the Bucks. I think that their offense looks pretty good. The last 3 or 4 weeks, the Brady's been clicking. He looks great. AB's coming alive, getting back into football shape instead of that rapper vibe that he was all on all summer and midway through the season. I'm sure he was making beats and whatever, but I think he's back on track. I like to see Gronk get a little bit more involved. He didn't really do anything against Washington. And I think Taylor Heinicke and Washington took them on by surprise. We didn't really know what to expect with Heinicke. And he was in that system with Scott Turner for so long. That guy knows all of those plays, everything, what to do. I took the Bucks last week, and that was an ATS push. So I'll give me my money back. Let's put it on the Bucks money line plus 145. I just haven't been impressed with the Saints either the last couple weeks.
I haven't either. And honestly, Tom Brady's been playing out of his mind. He's averaging 379 yards per game in the last 4 weeks, and a 12-1 touchdown interception ratio. I mean, the guy's he's been playing lights out. So I'm rolling with the Bucks here too. If you want to be safe and grab the 3 points at even money, can't blame you, but I'm rolling with the money line. It's plus 145. I love that value. How can you doubt Brady as an underdog, right? I mean, he's just way too profitable. So got to go with that. I don't trust Breeze. He's got the 2nd fewest air yards per attempt in the NFL, only behind Alex Smith. So this is someone that, he can get rid of the ball quick, so he might not take sacks, but it's a pretty good defense. They're pretty good in coverage, so I think that they'll be able to handle and corral all these little dinks and dunks and put the Saints in some 3rd and 5s and 3rd and 6 situations that, Breeze is going to throw it 3 or 4 yards and, going to have to rely on some yak. And if the Bucs are prepared for it, they might be able to handle it. And I think this is a Bucs team that they're much better at adjusting on the fly now than they were at the beginning of the season. And I just think that they're a better football team than the New Orleans Saints.
And actually, I think Drew Brees this Friday turns 42 or 43. I think it's 42 officially. So, maybe that arm strength loses a little bit more juice this week, I'm hoping for. And like I said, Taylor Heinicke, I think he can throw the ball better than Drew Brees at this point. Maybe not with this precision and accuracy, but down the field, definitely. Heinicke made some throws against the Bucs where everybody was like, whoa, who is this guy? And he made that one rollout, diving Johnny Manziel-esque at Texas A&M diving play. Drew Brees can't do that either. So a statue with a noodle arm. He struggled early against the Bears last week too, with Trubisky not being able to. Oh my gosh! It's just if he fell out of water, or it fell out of a boat, he wouldn't even hit water. It's so bad. And if they struggle early against the Bucs, I think Tom Brady's just gonna cook with, like you said, he's been on fire on this crazy heater, and he's turning it up. And these receivers and weapons are just too much, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Marshawn Lattimore utterly dominates Mike Evans, and now that Evans hyperextended his knee and he's a little banged up, he might not be a factor at all in this game. I mean, if he gets 2 catches, great. But Brady's just got so many weapons, and Man, two running backs that you weren't too high on at the beginning of the season. I'm not gonna say I was high on them at all. I mean, they're nothing special, but Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones have looked good in that offense, and it looks like anyone could run with them right now because of the threat of a pass game. So
That was the issue with the Bucs and those losses that they would have, that they weren't able to run the ball. They were running for 10 yards, 20 yards. You're not going to beat anybody running for that amount of yardage. So I think you're right. If these guys can step up and get 70 yards, not even a piece, just combined 70, 80, they actually have a legit chance to win this game. They have to be able to run the ball because the run game has been awful in those losses. And I think this is a great game to tease the Bucs. I think that's a great opportunity to get them at 9 points. And even I was thinking about just doing a 2-team teaser with them and the Packers. Tease the Packers down and then the Bucs up. And that, in my opinion, is a lock.
Yeah, I actually have a 16 teaser, which I thought I was done with. But given the line movement with the Ravens, I do like a 7-point teaser. I usually do 6-team, 6-point teaser. This week, I have a 6-team, 7-point teaser. So I'm going to do Packers down the money line. The under in the Packers, like I said, teasing the Ravens to +9, Chiefs down to 3, the under in that one, and Bucs up to 10. Really like that, man. I mean, I'm probably going to put some good money on that one. It's juicy enough for me, safe enough where I could just kick back, relax, enjoy the games, and know that I'm going to make some money. I mean, that's what I got. You got anything juicy for me, Thomas? You got like an underdog you love or parlay?
Well, the underdog I love are the Bucs, and I have them to win the Super Bowl. Then I have that crazy 3-team parlay that I did. I had the Lakers winning in the championship last summer in the bubble, and then I parlayed that with the Bucs winning the Super Bowl, and also the Alabama Crimson Tide, who just won last night. So that's a ridiculous payoff. I didn't put a lot of money on it. All these people on Twitter are giving me crap saying, "Oh, you didn't put enough money on that. You're a wimp," all that BS. But you know what? They're just jealous. They hate us because they ain't us. They're not making money like me and you are.
Yeah, man. It's like, I don't know if you remember, like last year I had a bet that was $5 to win $3,000. Everyone was like, "Bro, you should have put 50 on it." It's like, yeah, no duh. If I knew with absolute 100% certainty that my best friend hit, yeah, I'd put $1,000 on every single 12-team parlay. But guess what? You don't fucking know. It's gambling, all right? Like, you should have put more on it. Well, man, I took 5 shots. One of my 10-teamers hit. Great. They're all $5 each. Like, I'm not going to put 50 on one.
Exactly. It's better than playing the lotto. And hey, you don't have to put a lot of money on stuff for this stuff to make you money. I only put $2 on that bet, and the payout is almost $400. Like, get out of here. If I put $50 on that, you know how much money I would be down? Like, that's incredible. Why would you do that? And people just need to shut up. And it's just, Twitter trolls are just Twitter trolls, Every degenerate says, "I should have put more money on that." Well, you know how much money you would have lost if that was your mentality every time you made a bet?
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, "Oh, man, I once I made 100. Let me put 100 on every bet now." And then there goes your mortgage in life. Rich, and you can't even access Bovada because you don't have any access to the internet. And enough about the Twitter trolls. Make sure to follow us on Twitter where we're giving daily plays, NBA, college football, whatever it is. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Action Talk Bets. Be sure to like and subscribe below. Turn on those notifications. Make sure you're on these picks because we're giving winners, guys. So thank you guys for tuning into the episode. Like I said, be sure to follow us.